Hello, my name's Astevez. I just wanted to share why I thought the two movies, Weathering with You and Your Name, resonated so well with me. So I've watched Weathering with You and Your Name twice separately, and I think it's fair to say that these two movies are easily one of my top favorites. So how did I go from not knowing who Makoto Shinkai is to absolutely loving these two films that he did? And by the way, I'm going to be talking about spoilers here, so if you haven't seen the films, I strongly urge you to pause this video and go see it. It's a bit of a funny story with Your Name because I knew about it in 2016, but I never got around to watching it because I had these negative connotations in my head about this was a 1 hour romantic anime movie. It wouldn't give me enough time to bond with the characters. So I didn't watch it until a couple of weeks ago when I saw it on Netflix, and I decided, you know what, I'm not doing anything with my life at the moment, so I just gave it a go, and I really liked it. And the next week I told my sister that she had to watch it with me. This would be her first time as well seeing it, and she really liked it as well. I remember there was some scenes in the movie where she had her eyes were a bit teary, just like me in my first time, granted. But it was really nice to see that it wasn't just me that this movie moved. And it was about the time after I watched the movie, I wanted to know if there was a sequel. There's no sequel, but I read that there's a light novel adaptation or something, so I might look into that later. But then I found out about Weathering with You. It was in cinemas, it still is, and I went to see it probably 2 weeks ago. I went both sessions IMAX. I took my friends there and then I took my sister there, and seeing it in the big screen like that, it was amazing. And just seeing the whole cinema full of people, I've only had that experience maybe twice. Once with Broly, Dragon Ball Super, and this movie. So I'm really glad that I had this experience, but I'm also mindful that in the fact that there was a 2016, like a 3 or 4 year gap between the movies, so I'm lucky that I got into it this late, so it didn't feel like there was a long wait in between those periods. What I did like about these movies was the relationship between the main characters and their romantic interests, and their dedication to pursuing them even though the world was in their way. I'm sure you know, growing up in the real world, things don't always go the way that you want them to. So seeing the heroes go up against time and fate and winning effectively, and it's just a really heartwarming moment. An example I can think of is in Weathering with You, when Haruka is trying to get to the top of the shrine in the abandoned building, and he's facing Suga and the police officers, and just pulling out the gun in sheer desperation, trying to make them understand that all he wants is to reach Hina. Why is my life not high stakes like that? The second thing I liked about these two movies was how they tied in Japanese mythology, with Your Name dealing with the guardian of human experiences and connections, and Weathering with You dealing with the legends of weather maidens. Being a Westerner or an outsider who's always been a fan of Japanese culture, it's fascinating to see it brought to life on screen, and how it's effectively modern in the sense that it affects us here and now. And it seems real that these things can happen in real life, that there can be weather maidens, and there can be families where people swap bodies. So I think it's safe to say that I'm pretty excited for hopefully more movies where more aspects of Japanese mythology can be incorporated. The last major thing that I liked was the music, and I'm still listening to the OSTs right now. I didn't feel that it was out of place, rather it supported and magnified the emotions that was trying to be presented. Like in Weathering with You, when Haruka and Hina are falling from the sky, and Grand Escape just started playing at like full blast in the cinema. I still remember that moment clearly, and the big grin on my face and my sister's at the time. Or at the end of Your Name, when um, Mitsuha and Taki are trying to find each other. These two movies occurred in the same universe. My whole cinema, literally everyone gasped when Taki and Mitsuha showed up at some points in the movie. I remember I didn't know who it was at first, but I recognized the hairstyle, but I thought it could just be the same hairstyle. But when everyone did that, then I knew it was them. And it's crazy that it is, because what does that mean for the future? Are they all going to team up in the end, like 5 movies down the line? Is Hina and Mitsuha gonna fight Thanos? That's what I want to know. As for my favorite movie, I can't really say anymore. Before I walked into Withering with You, I was certain that Your Name was it's always gonna be at the top for me. But seeing Withering with You twice and just letting it sink in for like a week or two, I can't tell anymore. And I like both of these films, but I can't choose between them, at least at the moment. Anyway, that's it from me, and thanks for watching my first video. Let me know if you can choose between Your Name and Withering with You, and maybe even some movies that I like that's in a similar vein to that. Till next time.